Stupid. Dummy, I'll take that. Oh my goodness. I need to be ready for it. Here it comes. Well, I ain't never seen Peach animation yet. All right, you kind of cool with it. I need a blocking. I need a blocking. Come on, goalie. Come on, goalie. Goalie. Why it's not letting me do it? What? It didn't let me do nothing. Oh, I blocked it. Never mind. What? If you like watching me suffer and hearing my screams of agony, subscribe to my Twitch, link in the description and pinned comment. But for now, enjoy the video.
Our top story tonight, this symbol of hate on Oahu's roads that should have been gone almost a year ago.
Yeah, you might remember this story that we first brought you last August. You see right there, that offensive license plate that we're talking about, it was approved by the city and county of Honolulu, essentially saying FBLM, or Black Lives Matter.
And you know, a lot of folks called us after seeing it out and about, and after our initial story went viral, the city told us the plate was recalled and would have to be surrendered by the driver.
Yeah, we thought that would be the end of the story, but recently people contacted us again telling us those plates are still out on the road, so we looked into it again, and this story's new at 9. So what happened? The city and county admitted the plate never should have been allowed in the first place. Any combination of the F word should automatically be rejected. From there, officials recalled the plates and sent the owner 3 letters to surrender the offending plates. We now know those letters were ignored.
Because obviously the guy felt comfortable enough, not only after you did the story on it, but to keep the license plates on there.
UH law professor Ken Lawson says as a black man living in Hawaii, he's disgusted the process has now dragged on for almost a year. At this point, the car's registration and safety check are both expired. HPD tells us they're aware of the recalled plate, but they can't go on to private property to get them. They can, though, pull him over on public roads. Lawson wondering where that kind of urgency was last year.
And if you claim to be the Aloha State and HPD represents that Aloha, then do something about this kind of stuff. And the fact that you didn't, right, may be more proof that his license plate may be correct, you know, that our lives don't matter, that our feelings don't matter, that these types of things can be publicly done.
Right now, it's a waiting game. If you see that car, you can report it to police. Now, a hold has been placed on the vehicle's registration on any further renewals until he surrenders those plates. Meanwhile, police say they haven't caught the driver to get those plates just yet.
Now look, I'm a week late. Maybe I'm 2 weeks late to this, but I had good reason. I wanted this. I wanted people to see this. I wanted people to experience this because, of course, somebody like me, a black man in the year 2022, how could I possibly own something like this? How could somebody all the way out there in the world have that as a license plate? And how could people be so aghast? How could people want him to turn that in, even though it's within good reason? Because based on the laws in that area, you're not supposed to have FCK or any form of any derogatory word on there. So, you know, kind of fair, kind of not fair. But why would somebody think this is a good thing as a message? Well, I'll tell you, not only does Black Lives Matter not show up for every single black life taken unjustly.
Years ago tonight, a retired city police captain was shot and killed amid riots and looting during summer 2020 unrest. David Dorn dedicated his life to law enforcement.
Only News 4's Caroline Hecker talks to his widow as the trial for his accused killer nears.
It was an alarm here at Lee's pawn shop that David Dorn woke up to come investigate. He was doing a friend a favor, and the alarms were fairly frequent, so he didn't bother to wake his wife, Ann. Little did they both know what he would encounter when he got here.
4 o'clock in the morning, there was a knock on the door.
The early morning hours of June 2nd, 2020 feel like yesterday for Ann Dorn.
Being a police officer and then being a police spouse, you never want the chief at your front door.
He was there to deliver the news. Her husband, David, had been killed. She'd been woken up out of a dead sleep, confused as to why David hadn't answered the door.
That's why I really wasn't prepared, because he was home as far as I was concerned.
Police say when Captain Dorn arrived at Lee's pawn shop, he was confronted by looters who had broken into the store. That's when one of them shot and killed him. 2 years later, she says it finally feels real.
Everybody thinks, you know, right after is bad, and it's not the first year that's bad. You're kind of numb. You're kind of in a fog, in a haze. And after the first year, things start to clear, and then reality really kicks in that they're not coming back.
The trial for the man accused of pulling the trigger, Stefan Cannon, is set to begin next month.
I'm very nervous. There's things that I don't want to know. As a police officer, the curious mind wants to know everything, but as the wife, I don't. There's certain aspects of it I don't want to know.
She plans to be there for every second of it, adding she has full confidence in retired Judge Marvin Tier, who is coming out of retirement to prosecute the case. She hopes her presence in court sends a message.
I'm not going to let this man or anybody else take my peace or make me a victim. And I want to empower other people who think they're victims that you're not.
Not only do they buy mansions that don't benefit the black community, not only do they disguise that and hide that for 2 years, and then once they get caught, claim it's a content creation house, and then decide to think that going around and having about 10, maybe even 50 black people hold up cameras saying, ooh, this is the Black Lives Matter house compound experience. That's obviously gonna save the black community. Not only do people in the media get on TV and say things like, oh, well, that Black Lives Matter organization, it's not really about every black life, it's only about police brutality, therefore negating the entire concept of Black Lives Mattering.
The Black Lives Matter movement was started because it was talking about police brutality. If you want an all Black Lives Matter movement that talks about gun violence in communities, including, black communities, then start that movement with that name.
Not only is this organization admitted by its own former founder, because she couldn't take any form of criticism, so she just left, saying that, oh yeah, we got all this money in 2020, but we didn't really know what to do with it. Not only are tax documents, according to the former founder, triggering to her, and it hurts, and nobody can fathom, and it's obviously some ploy and some tactic to take out this well-organized group of people who's just existing, and we just want to help black people, and if they take us out, they're just gonna go to the next Black Lives Matter organization.
Yes, there has been so much clarity for me, a questioning for me. I don't know if I have clarity or answers yet, but I'm like, wow, this doesn't seem safe for us. This 990 structure, this nonprofit system structure, this is like deeply unsafe. Like this is being literally weaponized against us, against the people we work with. I can't tell you how many people are like, am I next? Like, are they gonna do this to me? So there's not a lot of, that's like, when you know this, you run an organization, like people's morale in an organization is so important.
Yes.
But if their organization and the people in it are being attacked and scrutinized at everything they do, that leads to deep burnout, that leads to deep resistance and trauma. And so I think that other piece for me around, what I think is important for people to understand is, and it's connected to this question, but there is a misinformation and disinformation effort to not just challenge Black Lives Matter and the organization, but it's an experiment. If they win, then it's the next Black-led organization.
Yes, it is.
And then it's the next Black-led organization, and it's the next Black person who's leading that. And so it's so important that we pay attention to what's happening, and we don't allow for they have this they know what they're doing, like how to create the infighting, how to create the distrust. We have to stop it. We have to stop it before they do it. We have to shut it down. We have to be showing up against it. And so that has been really important to me too, like taking the time to kind of stand back and watch it happening and being like, oh, this is how this works. Like we are literally the experiment right now.
Not only do they have money that everybody knew they got that apparently they couldn't account for going to individuals that do not benefit the black community as a whole. We got cracks in the street, we got neighborhoods that look like shit, and yet you motherfuckers just going in the gated communities buying mansions every which way to hang out with the white people. That's interesting. And to tip this iceberg even further, isn't it interesting that this same exact organization that started because of a young man named Trayvon Martin, and the Trayvon Martin Foundation was created. Isn't it interesting that this same organization gave more money to the former founder's baby daddy and not the Trayvon Martin Foundation? I think it's quite reasonable. Anybody who hates this organization would proudly spout the message, fuck BLM. It's not hard to figure it out. You have a woman who's a BLM activist who's missing a piece of her fucking skull, and nobody, Patrice Cullors, Al Sharpton, Ben Schnitzel Crump, none of these motherfuckers got on the podium and said, we got a problem in America today, and the problem is obviously these white supremacists, even though it was black people that shouted, oh, we need justice for this woman, even though nobody's gone to the UK to actually get that support for her, and it's basically just been her own family desperate for people to pay attention. And by the way, they had to put up all this money just to get anybody to care, which proves my point. Black lives really don't matter unless you put some incentive on it, unless you put a spin on it, unless you get a narrative for it. And I've said it time and 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 time again. When are y'all going to admit that I was right? This organization really ain't consistent in how they want to operate. They don't really do enough to actually prove that we got problems everywhere and we need them fixed. You got all the people that conveniently want to say black people harming black people, black on black crime isn't really a thing. Yet they constantly want you to know that every situation involving a white person and a black person is seemingly racist. How, Sway? I don't get that. We could talk about both things. One thing ain't got to be just ignored and negated until you feel like the job is done, which it will never be done, because even though you sit there every 4 years, you magically disappear, then you come back at random, it's seemingly the same problem every single time. This ain't hard to figure out. It's no riddle, it's no Rubik's Cube, it's no maze. It's quite simple. This organization has embarrassed itself time again, and more people are starting to realize it, and more people are starting to say, you know what? I'm not really for this organization. And to all you weirdos that's gonna say, I don't support the organization, I just support the words. Do you know Sasha Johnson? Do you know any black life that's taken unjustly that's not just put on CNN every 4 years? Do you understand that these few selected names are not the only ones that exist who are black that have had their lives taken? You get that, right? You comprehend that, right? So my question to you is, are you going to these protests? Are you going to rally the troops? Are you going to get the word out that we got all these people out who have lost their lives or who have been kidnapped and nobody seemingly cares? You had a woman on national TV say the only way people could care is if it's a random white person because they got some disease, yet that same woman does not get on national TV, not local news, national TV, and say, hey, XYZ BADNS missing. Please help us find them. It's seemingly always this weird thing where we gotta look at a problem, point at it, but then we never want to address ourselves as part of the problem. And here's the thing. As much as people are probably gonna review this and call me a coon and say I'm a bigot and say all these things and sing kumbaya like that big bald musclehead bastard tried to do, isn't it interesting? We still got all these problems that the community could help fix. Yet, we're so interested in pointing the finger. Isn't it interesting how we got all this infighting in the community? I'm slowly seeing how politically people are trying to push black men against black women. I'm seeing all this division, yet nobody's taking the time to say, hey, cool out. We got problems in-house. I'm not worried about the white people right now. I'm worried about my little community known as the black community. Yet, nobody wants to do that. It's just a bunch of pointing the fingers. It's just a bunch of blame game. It's just saying, no, you did it first. 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 And all of that stems around a lot of things. But guess what? When it comes to this, and this being one of the main things, fuck this organization. Fuck it. Fuck the words, because it's not consistent. It don't hold strong. It only fits a narrative. So more people are going to have messages like that. That's not a threat. That's just people seeing it and they're tired of it. And yes, they will be black people. It will not just be them fat bellied, gray hair missing from right here so the back of their headline look like a U-shaped white. It's going to be more black people, because as more people start to grow and they want to talk and they want solutions and they see that this organization does absolutely nothing and continues to just blow smoke up people's asses, they'll believe what I've been saying for months. It's a scam. It's not really doing much to help everybody. It's only helping the people inside. And as much as people want to get get on camera and cry, oh, we must pay attention to the actual news.
So just be diligent when you see shit in the media and you see shit that's being talked about. Please be diligent, because they are purposefully doing this. They are purposefully building a wedge between Black people.
Oh, really?
Because they know that
Are they really building a wedge?
Together, we're stronger, and they've seen what we've done.
Oh, we are.
This last decade.
Oh,
they've seen what we've done.
What have you done? I've seen
So
you
they're
lie.
literally
You've lied.
trying to destroy us.
Oh, no.
They're trying to destroy me. They're trying to destroy the movement.
Oh, are they?
And I just need us to be stronger.
Oh, do you?
I need us to be more diligent.
Oh, yes.
I need us to be more present. I need us to be clearer.
You want us to be
I
clear?
need us to be accountable.
Oh, accountability. Oh, I like that word. I'm going to use that in a minute.
People are paying attention. You're just mad that they're paying attention to you and your shitty tactics as a leader of an organization that does not care about every single Black person. So subscribe to the channel. I'll see y'all in the next one. I could end this any other way, but I'll end it the same way I've been doing it recently when it comes to Black Lives Matter.